Greetings, GameCola faithful, and welcome back to Dragon Warrior 2. Joe, what did we do in the last episode?
In the last episode, we went up a lighthouse, and we also found a hole in the bottom of the sea. So we went from the bottom to the top of the world.
Wow. Which we are
Very
going to do once again to get to our next destination. Go west out to the out of this little river and go north, and we're going to go up and around this continent. And we're actually going to go back to Middenhall just as to make that a checkpoint for ourselves, top off on health, and then we're going to go south to our water cave.
North now.
Northeast. We're going up and around this landmass. So just follow the coastline.
Understood. And Rappel has been very nice out on the open seas here.
Yes. So we never did get around to introducing ourselves in this episode. I'm Nathaniel.
I'm James.
I'm Jeddy. Wait,
Oh.
no, I'm wait. What? It's a me, Jeddy. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
There we go. We're going to
Do we
Middenhall.
want to?
It works
And
better if we're not
I-
expecting that, though.
And Joseph Martin, and I talk like this now.
So now, yeah, follow the east coastline to Middenhall.
So you weren't doing a voice last time. You were just reading it.
I've actually been doing a voice my entire life until this moment. But I will go back to the voice you expect of me. But I mean, we have to like engage me in conversation about it.
Yes.
Like, I'm just like,
Just silence.
I always like, whenever it comes up that like I speak Japanese or whatever, and then they're like, "Oh, say something in Japanese," and it's like, you're not gonna understand it. We're not having a conversation. Like, what do you expect me to say? Am I supposed to like give some grand speech that like?
I don't believe we need to actually go talk. Oh, yeah, I guess if you want to save your game here.
Yeah, just so it's closer by.
And then you can use return.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I was thinking, because this will be the easiest place to get back to our location from, and a nice place to escape to, because our next destination is a series of twisty little passages all alike, or something to that effect, and I've got a map. So I promise I'll help us through at least part of the time. Yeah, so go a little bit west of the coastline here and then straight south. But this is another area where that kind of exemplifies some of the issues I have with the map design in this game. Go a little more west.
yeah, I think anytime you are in a situation where like
This
it's
is our
all
next
water.
destination after we have all the crests.
Ah, right.
You were saying?
I was saying, like, at any point where it's just like all
Wait.
water. I
It
think
happened.
what?
Jumpin' Jack Flash?
Yeah, it's a guess. We were talking about like what would spawn on this island if we were to have something
Oh, yeah.
spawn.
Yeah, we had an
Red City
encounter on the
building.
one tile that was, yeah. Good point.
Congratulations, old man at the bottom of that staircase. You live on Gas Island.
Yep. Well, I was gonna know he's in Initial D. Gas.
I only know running in the 90s. I'm sorry.
Ah.
Sorry, actually, when I was looking at the bird image, this is not going to make any sense. I
For
saw-
reference, there was a bird image that none of
Yeah.
you have seen.
Yeah, and you're also not going to see my favorite screenshot of Initial D, which is, and I'm pretty sure I've shared this before, which nobody's going to be able to see, or at least James isn't going to be able to see.
I love how we have completely derailed the podcast and lost our entire audience within 3 minutes of starting this episode.
Yep, you're not going
I
to be
also
able to
love
see
how
any
we
of
derailed
this,
it so
but
much
we're
as
going to
a
talk
podcast.
about it anyway.
The bird image, of course, is a giant sign that says bird with a bird perched on top of it. Go south.
And now I have shared a screenshot from Initial D in which the main character of Initial D says, "Cars are pretty interesting." I'm pretty sure that was both the beginning of the show and the end of the show. That was just the whole show.
What's the
Lies!
first?
Osterfair Castle is closer.
What's the first RPG that had a car in it?
A CarPG?
Yes, a CarPG. Not to be confused with
man.
a CarPG,
Hmm.
which this game could
RPG.
A car
Yeah,
a
actually, why don't we
CarPG
go in
is
here?
the
Why don't we
CarPG
go
is
in-
Animal Crossing.
Why don't we go in here instead? Because we can also fight some metal slimes on the way in, potentially.
I know Final Fantasy 15 was all about there was a car.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
You fight taxis in Earthbound, and I
Yeah.
believe the original mother might also have had a vehicle somewhere. I'm sure I've played older games with cars in. I mean, there was a spaceship in Ultima.
yeah, I was
the
gonna
right
say
way.
is that there's a couple of sci-fi games that I'm sure had, like, define car, right? Does it explicitly have to be?
You have like a land
regular
speeder in
car.
Ultima as well.
I guess that does kind of feed into. We're still just doing kind of like maintenance work before our next big thing, right?
You know, I don't need
Okay.
to. Actually, let me check what is
If you've
for
spent
sale
any
here.
MP or taken any damage at all, we've got enough money to spare. It wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, but I'm just curious about. Okay, so I think we've got the magic armor already. We've got the dragon killer.
We have magic armor for both people who can wear it.
Both people can wear it?
I thought the prince and the prince could wear it. Maybe I'm making that
Okay,
up.
Orfeo
I think Orf
has it.
yeah has it, and I don't think that the main character does. Game.
He has armor
Oh,
of
no, he
Gaia,
has
which I think
better.
is better.
Hmm.
Yeah, never mind. Okay. Do we have anything we can sell? Anything to lighten our inventory, or anything we should plan to buy?
Well, you have this leaf of the world. No.
So we can sell the Sword of Erdrick.
Oh, that's right. Excuse me, sir.
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 No, you can't. Don't sell it.
Sell it to me instead. Oh, right. I can't sell it to you anyway. Despite the
wow.
fact that you deal in weapons, you will not
Yeah,
actually
right.
purchase
That's the inn.
weapons.
That's the inn. I guess we still wanted to go there.
Uh,
My question was going to be, how much experience do you guys have with RPGs before this game, or really the Dragon Quest, like Final Fantasy era, right? Like Ultima is an example of
I
like
tried
think
playing
a
Ultima.
direct inspiration of both Final Fantasy and
We're so. I was going to say we're so close to our destination. Repel probably won't make much
South?
difference, but yeah, go west until you can't see the coast, then go south.
Okay. Actually, don't let me forget about this. I want to talk about
Slightly
the
more
topic
west.
you've asked, Joe.
yeah.
But I also want to mention something I forgot to talk about on the last episode.
Yeah, a little more west.
Jeddy made a joke about Wanderers from Ease, and I want to talk about that because I heard him. Like, I was watching the GameCola family game night or game morning stream of Super
Yeah.
Hydlide, after
Yeah.
which Jeddy
Yeah.
starts playing Wanderers from Ease, and I have some things to
I don't
say
know.
about
Yeah.
it.
the
But,
highlight or ease.
no, about Ease.
Okay. All I
Um,
remember about Wonders of Ease is the one game Jetty described in the same podcast episode where we talked about the basketball land at Disney World.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's
Well, that
Ease
was-
8.
that was
That's
Ease
another thing
8,
I have to
yeah.
talk because, like, okay. Let me get back to that
Yeah,
because
do
I
the
I
battle.
have not played any of those games, but I have a lot of friends who play those games and like those games very much, and so
Yeah.
I'll just say that I find it interesting how much Jeddy disliked those games. I was like, Jeddy was just absolutely slamming both of those games. I'm like, these are games that up until this point I have heard nothing but good about from all of the
Yeah.
other friends who like
Yeah.
talk about those games. They're like some of their
Yeah.
favorites, and like the East series in particular is like a personal favorite of several people I know. And so I'm just like, oh wow, Jeddy is absolutely railing
the
on
wrong.
these games. So it just feels kind of weird. I'm just like, oh.
I don't remember the episode number, but I do remember the title now, which was Real Basketball Cosplay.
I just listened to that a couple nights ago, and that's why it came to mind.
I want to say it was a pre.
Ooh, 6 damage from the princess.
Mhm.
The GameCola podcast, Real Basketball Cosplay. If this is the latest episode of
Hey,
Warrior 2,
Devloop.
Yeah,
you can go
was it?
listen to it?
It might have
If
been
not,
GCPC
finish the
133C.
Might have been. That number feels right. It was. I think it was before I started doing the standard thumbnail for all of them because I remember that
new
thumbnail.
Yeah.
Time out. Orfeo learned a new spell.
Oh yeah, what did we learn? How many menus?
Firebane.
Oh, Firebane.
Ooh.
Huh.
Boy, that would have been useful on. Well, assuming this
those
is
stupid
protection
things.
against fire, that would have been nice against the dragonflies. But maybe it's an attack. Well, no, it's a fight spell. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a damaging spell. It might be.
Right.
It's just used in combat.
Well,
only one
this
way
kind
to
of
find
ties
out.
into one of my complaints about the game because it attacks an enemy group with fire, is what Firebane does.
So it's
but
Infernos?
if we were more powerful, I think.
Have I gone too far?
This time you've gone too far. You need to cast another spell. Could you cast Westmore
Westmore, okay.
and then North? Yeah, that ought to do it.
Mm.
No.
No.
Stop it!
No, I
Just
thought
go
that.
north.
Yeah.
Stop zigzagging.
Hello and welcome to
Serpentine.
James
Serpentine.
bothers Nathaniel with his navigation.
So, I'm sorry. So were
Aha!
we talking? Wow. Oh yeah, this place we've been here. What were we saying about Wanderers from West?
Oh goodness, we have like 3
Oh, yeah.
topics going right
Yeah,
now.
we-
Let's wrap
Yeah.
one up.
I think. Did you have anything else to say other than how surprised you were that?
No,
Jenny
that's
did not
that's
like
all,
the-
that's all I had
the
to say. I
game
was
with
just like
evolution,
I happened to
where you
listen to
fight
two
evolution.
different GameCola pieces, maybe made during the same time frame, but probably not.
Yeah.
Where Jeddy is just bashing one East game or another, and I'm just surprised. I'm like, wow, Jeddy really doesn't like these games that a lot of my friends talk about how much they enjoy. And I'm like, oh, interesting.
All right.
Did Stepguard actually
We
do
found that
anything useful?
Stepguard, I don't think it did.
No, it does for the. I think it does for the poison like swamp bit, but not for the lava.
Right.
Okay.
Right, lava, awesome.
So-
So hang on. So there's a couple of points of interest in here. Here, there's actually treasure that we're going to go after. This is a big, long, complicated cave with a lot of places to get lost. The points of interest that I will be directing you toward are, of course, the life crest. We're also going to get a weapon and an armor and maybe finally a lottery ticket. We'll see.
Oh boy.
I feel like we almost want to do a detour just for the lottery ticket. So we
Yeah,
can finally use
just
one
so
this
we
game.
can, and just so I can save state and like until we win the lottery. Also,
So let's start one thing at a time. What do you want to start with?
let's go with the weapon if that's reasonably close.
Yes. So to get to the weapon, it's EFGHIT. That doesn't help you at all, does it?
No,
That makes sense.
Okay.
not
So,
even. Well, I mean, I'm sure on your map with the various staircases connecting to things. Unless you're
I need
just
to
like
figure out where
babbling
you
random
came-
letters at me and you're just making a joke.
Yeah, no, I need to... They do correspond with the staircases. I need to find where the heck you came in.
Well, I'm in.
Why is the entrance not
Probably
labeled
A.
on this map? Why are the letters not in the order of... None of this makes sense. Jeddy, you might need to help me out.
Yeah, sorry, it's time for Mike's RPG Center.
Mike's RPG Center? Come on, guys.
Realm of Darkness is letting me down because I
Wow.
cannot find the entrance to the... Unless I'm in the wrong cave.
While we look for our we shuffle through.
I mean, you can
like,
always just start walking and hope for the best.
this is the pulling. You're in the back seat and you're pulling out all the maps that are in the little fold part of the seat. Trying to figure. Oh no, this is the South Carolina map. We're in North Carolina.
by our websites combined.
my question that can maybe, unless Jeddy's got an idea.
Yeah, you start at 1, so you're gonna go south and then take the first thing to the west. There's going to be a 2. The 2 is going to be a medical herb, and then there's the door A.
Great.
Where we go from here?
Sorry, hold on. I'm looking at the map. Yeah. So sorry. The up is the medical herb.
I think I've already explored some of this cave.
Oh wait, no, sorry. Yeah, keep going.
I don't think we went this
west.
way.
Yeah, and then
maybe we did.
The up
I don't
is the
remember.
medical herb, and then the down is the A.
Okay.
And
the
then
the graboopies. Yes.
Graboopy!
Hold on. Where does the A go? I don't know.
I'm trying. If I can get my question while we're lost and confused. It was just how much experience do you guys have with RPGs that came before this game and like inspired it? Like Ultima, but also other
5,000 experience points.
Wait, am I confused because you actually went deeper into the cave by the time I first looked at the screen?
No, this is the very entrance to the cave.
We're not even in the place where I thought we were. Oh boy.
Oh dear.
Hold on. E.
Oh, it would make sense that this is Sea Cave.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know. EFG,
okay, so there's one more
HIT.
crest that is not in the Sea Cave. Yes, we need an item from here to get to the place that I was trying to send. That explains so much. I was looking at a map for not even remotely the place that you're in right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just jumping the gun because I'm like, oh, let me just bring up the map of the place where the last crest is, not bothering to match up the name of the place we're at to the name of that dungeon.
E. Sorry, where's the 10? Where is it?
Nathaniel, I know you played
There it
Ultima.
is.
You said so.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoyed it. It was a solid 3 out of 5 for me. I don't care so much about graphics unless they're awful, and they are as absolutely basic as you can get because of the time period, the era. And the gameplay is very straightforward, but yeah, I kind of enjoyed the whole package, and I thought it was unique to have this fantasy setting collide with a sci-fi setting.
And now I'm trying to figure out where you need to go.
Did you play any of the series before you played some of the other RPGs, or was it more like a go back in history and catch up on?
I played Ultima
Down. Yeah, then to
7 years
west,
ago, maybe?
and then-
Something like that.
Okay.
That feels right. 7
Ooh.
years, maybe.
A metal babble.
Yeah.
Later games, this would be a liquid metal slime.
One of
Because
my
the
favorite
slimes
enemies
aren't
in
liquid.
the entire series.
I guess they're probably like they probably feel like
brother.
you know that like cornstarch like mixed with water kind of thing, where it like kind of feels solid when you're pressing on it, but when you don't, it's like liquidy.
Yeah, non-Newtonian fluid. Go north.
Yeah.
The lava. Oobleck.
Oobleck, yeah.
Yeah. And then go through those stairs.
Through the stairs, not down the
Yeah.
stairs, through them.
Yeah.
Okay. I have found where we are.
And hold on, 6, 7. Oh wait, no.
Graboopy!
I'm guiding us directly to the place that we're supposed to go because this is a fairly complex cave.
Yeah, so
know.
here's the thing. You can see how much Jeddy and I are both struggling to... I mean, Jeddy's having a hard time because he's got the correct map. I was having a hard time because I had the wrong map. But in both cases, this goes into one of my gripes with this game, is that the map design, like, we talked about the overworlds kind of being samey and not having as many waypoints to really direct you to where you're going next. And the dungeons are... I don't mind, like...
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh. gone to Delaware.
Well, we didn't get very far.
Nope. Yeah, we're gonna have. This is abort.
But these dungeons that are too labyrinthine for their own good. Like, I don't mind a bit of a maze and some dungeons that are mazier than others, but especially with the you can't see the entire map, you need to walk through a doorway and then see the next part of it open up to you. A lot of the time in this game, as intended, the developers, I'm sure, did not intend for you to have a screenshot map of every dungeon at your side, was to get lost in these dungeons, and thus you would be leveling up more, so you would be more prepared for the later dungeons.
Sorry.
We might be about to bite it.
Yeah.
The first time in a while. Oh no. Oh, and we don't have the thing.
And I can't heal because although I have MP, we're stop spelled.
Can I also say that I've been trained that, like, it was such a painful experience fighting the trees in Earthbound
Tremendous blow.
that I just eternally, like, this isn't Earthbound, right? And I'm just like, no, when you defeat the tree,
It's gonna explode.
Yeah. Oh no, this is going very poorly.
Why is GameCola defending?
Because
Like,
he
I
has almost no
understand his-
HP.
I understand his health is low, but he can take these out in one hit, right?
No.
And defending with him now isn't going to do him any good. He's going to die if he gets hit no matter what.
Yeah, well, he did. So we're done for here.
Fine. No, we're doing fine. We just have to use. No. We have that the thing. Come on. No.
Nope.
Well,
Why don't we just redo the whole episode?
I'd kind of like to at this point.
But then you wouldn't get to hear me say Kraboopy.
Oh, that's
man,
right. It doesn't
and the
even
guys are
revive
dead.
me. Yeah, forget
Oh,
that.
well,
I'm gonna
so much for
reset.
all of our money.
yeah, that's rough. Oh no, when was the last time that we? Oh no, we saved at
We
the guy.
saved right before we went into the cave, so honestly,
Okay.
maybe might be better. Like, how much XP did we really gain?
I
Yeah.
mean, well, we're gonna
I
have
do
to
not
spend
remember.
even more money resurrecting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
yeah.
Question: What level are we all currently?
19 Delaware and Delaware.
Wasn't it?
I can't
19,
actually
17,
see. I want to say
14?
it's 19, 18, 14.
Yeah, it might.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I think it might be
Okay.
18 now.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
I think somebody.
Or no, it might be 1919 as well, because Orfeo did level up, I think, while we were down there.
No, I think he leveled up from 17 to 18. There was definitely a point last episode at least where
Tell
it
you what.
was.
You know what? Let's keep
Mm-hmm.
what XP we did gain, because you cap out at level 50, and that's not high enough to feasibly take on the final dungeon. So we'll need to do
okay.
some grinding at some point
At
anyhow.
50, I thought you said it was 30.
Last game was 30.
Hmm.
How on earth am I supposed to get to level 50?
Get lost endlessly in dungeons so that you naturally level up without intentionally grinding.
I am concerned about how long the remainder of this series is going to be. Suddenly.
I mean,
Nathaniel claimed earlier that we were more than halfway through.
you are. There's like 3 dungeons left, and there's like 3 places you have not been in the entire game. But to actually reach the final boss and beat the final boss, again, your playthrough
Repel
is
lost
generally
its
going.
effect.
Oh man! Well, now we have to start over.
I like
Your
that
playthrough
Repel-
is generally going a lot better than mine. And once you are fully kitted out with all of the equipment that you have, it'll be easier to grind on. We've got like metal slimes and stuff. You'll be able to do these dungeon delves without immediately needing to turn tail and revive everybody, maybe, possibly. But we're going to the other.
Because we don't have a house of healing here.
I thought, oh no, the other king doesn't let you save.
Oh, because it's red. Sorry, I was like, man, those slimes look extra evil. It's like, oh, because it's red. Right?
It's supposed to scare you.
Yeah.
This is like in Metroid 1, where after you die, you have to then grind for health drops from enemies for like 20 minutes.
I also don't really like that when one of your party members dies, you can't use repel anymore.
Yeah, because I guess if we had a fairy water,
if you had fairy water, you could make it work.
Yeah.
Oh.
The curse of
death. Yes, the curse of death. And this is like a double whammy because you then have to pay a ton of money in order to revive your other party members and
just to get them back to 1 HP.
Yeah, and then you have to pay to
Eventually we stopped doing this. I don't know when,
why.
But it did take a while because we were definitely still doing it in the early 2000s. But eventually I feel like we just stopped doing. Like we figured out that this was bad. This was dumb. Are there any other RPG mechanics that have been lost to time that you are either glad or sad about?
It hasn't been lost to time, but I've never been fond of weight. And so I don't mind inventory management.
For a second I thought you were like, I want everything to go. Don't make me wait.
Yeah, I don't like waiting.
I don't mind the inventory slots of like you've got 18 slots and just put whatever in them, but the ones where you have like a grid and your sword is a 1x3 object and your potion is a 1x1 object and you need to Tetris them in, or here this weighs 20 pounds, this weighs 8 pounds, this is an ounce and you need to make it work. Am I cutting out?
No, I just need to know where to go again.
The same place you were before.
I know, but how do I get there?
So cast Westmore.
Westmore. So I just went south of Middenhall.
Yep, cast Westmore.
Okay.
Which is, of course, move one full screen to the west, and then south.
Okay.
Because it's Middenhall, then we go down to the tapering point, then a little below that we have the crescent Crescent Cornucopia, that's not the name of it.
The Croissant.
And then Sea Island from Star Tropics is what I was thinking of.
Oh, yeah, Sea Island.
Southwest of there is this cave.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty close by.
So down... Yeah, then to the west.
Okay, that's not actually swamp. It just looks... It's regular dungeon floor. It just looks like swamp compared to the lava.
Yeah,
and
it's just very dark
shocking
dirt.
To me that Stepguard does not matter against the lava. I feel like that's a huge oversight. Or we've done something wrong as the user.
Yeah, I think they did something wrong as the programmers.
Nathaniel, how do you feel about like weight, where it's like it's basically like an inventory limit, but certain things just count more, but you don't have to do like a puzzle. It's just like, oh, this thing is 40 pounds and this thing is 2 pounds. So you can have more of one of the little things than the big things.
That annoys me. The only place where I'll put up with it is in the Elder Scrolls games that I've played, because you can increase your strength over the course of the game, which increases your carrying capacity. So that's fine. But if you have a set limit of you can only carry 100 pounds throughout the entire game, that's annoying.
I feel like limited inventories are tricky. Were used a lot more I'm guessing probably just because of memory limitations. It's like, this is as much space as we can give you in the computer
Sure.
to have things.
Well, with something
but-
like Elder Scrolls, it makes sense because if there were no inventory limits, you could have the contents of an entire town in your pants. So that just strains credibility after a certain point.
Right. But I feel like limited inventory is also something we've moved away from. But I also feel like we've talked about this on a previous episode, kind of. And I don't want to retread topics too much. Jeddy, did you have a mechanic that you either missed or are glad is gone?
All right, I'm
Yeah,
just
I
going to
feel
run away.
like,
Any fight with evil trees, I'm just going to run away from because I am
I
not
think that's
interested in
smart.
losing half of my MP in one battle.
Yeah. Okay, so Jeddy, are you navigating? Do you want me to navigate?
Either way, because right now you're heading to the left, and then you're gonna go down, and then you're gonna go left, and then you're gonna go up, and then over the stairs, and then we're back where we were. Because I was also going to respond to Joseph's question. Man, I don't think I miss.
Also, Grabooby!
I don't think I miss random battles. I feel like those have been fading out, right? That like maybe there are some like indie games and such that still have them, but I feel like most games these days you can see the enemies on the map, even if it takes you to a turn-based battle. You see them on the map, right?
I have always preferred that. That's one of the reasons I like Chrono
down,
Trigger as much as
sorry.
I do.
Down,
Don't-
continue left, and then up. Yeah, there you go, and then the stairs.
But
We're
I've
already back
always
to where we
preferred-
were the last time.
Yep.
Yeah,
I've
Sure.
always
spent,
preferred
like-
to see enemies before I fight them, but I'm okay with random encounters as long as the rate of encounters is acceptable. Final Fantasy V, the Game Boy Advance remake, that's like every other step you're having a battle. That's too much.
Wait.
Oh,
Yeah. It's a trap.
Screw you, game.
No, what was that? I was gonna say
Um,
something. I had a
Well,
suggestion.
time out.
for
Let's
you guys.
navigate first.
And it's gold, so you can get the gold. Yeah, so like skip the trap one, skip all the stairs. You can go for
This
that
chest.
treasure chest.
Okay.
This
Whoa.
is-
Okay.
I think this may just be a
It's
point where
similar.
we just have to start grinding against enemies because this feels like a huge leap in difficulty. I feel like I am not prepared to deal with these enemies so far.
Yeah, we're having rough time upstairs, and now we are downstairs, and we're continuing down more stairs shortly.
This
So-
does lead a little bit into. Oh wait. Oh, Jay, did you have more?
No, sorry, I was just gonna say, Joseph, what were you gonna say about things that you miss or
Oh.
that you don't miss?
I was gonna say, what is, every RPG to a certain extent needs some way to prevent you from just walking to the end of the video game,
Yeah.
right? Because unlike a platformer, for example, where like your goal is to walk to the end of the video game and it's hard. But for an RPG, usually there has to be some kind of like gatekeeping of like why you can't just walk here.
What?
And my question was, what is your favorite way
Maybe we just exit this place altogether
Yeah,
to find a
I'm
good place to grind?
and do some grinding somewhere else.
I
for the
am
rest of the
very
episode.
not happy about
wanna
the
use
current state
outside?
of affairs.
I mean, if we want, we can bumble around here and
Grabooby!
explore the rest of this dungeon just to see it, to have something visually interesting instead of just grinding in the same area.
There's not really a lot of good
But-
chests in this place.
Yeah, well, still. And we could always like go back to the lighthouse and fight more enemies because we were doing okay there, and maybe just
Yeah.
get lost in the lighthouse and see more of it. But I am kind of thinking that this may be the point where it's finally necessary to do some grinding off camera
Yeah, possibly
Yeah.
so.
after this episode ends. So I think do the best that we can just to poke around, see what we can see, and then maybe some grinding is in order after this.
Seymour Lighthouse.
See more.
So, like,
Yeah, go
things
ahead.
I can think of off the top of my head are sort of what we're hitting now, which is it's just too difficult. You cannot do it. The enemies will punch you too hard, and so you have to, you know, grind or find some item that will help you advance. The other side is like in Pokemon where you have like the HMs, and it's like you have to defeat this boss battle to get this item, and then you can keep going forward. Another example would be like Mystery Dungeon, where it's like, oh, you have to collect enough side quest points before we let the plot advance. I don't know. What are there things that I'm missing, or like, how do you feel about how your progress is maintained and throttled, even perhaps in a game or RPG specifically?
I would rather have 3 meaningful battles in the entire game between me and the end of the road than 100 really dull, middling, waste my time battles because I'm not strong enough and need to grind.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And I think I
Where's the nearest town within? Well, I guess I can just head back to Middenhall and heal up. So, because Orfeo got 30 or so MP drained from him, I only had enough to couch
reviving
outside.
anyone, Middenhall is fine.
And just north?
Or Osterfair, actually. We're just northeast
Yeah,
of where
but
you are.
Middenhall's cheaper.
Yeah.
Way cheaper. And right
Yeah,
now...
true. But Middenhall has metal slimes around it. Or Osterfair.
Yeah. I
That's
feel like
actually-
also the difference in price is
Maybe,
And it's closer.
Maybe metal slimes are... All right.
like the difference in price
So
is
which
like,
way is it now?
less
I'm going
than a
back
battle,
to the
right.
cave.
East more. East one screen.
Okay.
And then keep going south.
Continue east.
East
Let
more.
me just hit
East.
the thing here. Okay.
Okay. Because we have now overshot. Like, had you gone east where I said east, you would have been there.
Yeah, I did not really do this much in the last game, but now I can and will. Like, this game has decided it will be rude, so I will be rude and also abuse save states.
Yeah.
The only problem is that the
Sorry.
way that the save state system works is the game has to be accepting input.
So I do like, right?
Yeah, so northeast of
Um,
here.
I'm thinking about games like Castlevania Symphony of the Night, where like you're kind of limited where you can go based on like skills that you have, right? So like you need the double jump to get to the place, and in order to get the double jump, you have to beat the boss that guards the double jump thing or whatever.
Yeah.
It's kind of a fun mechanic. That like you can see a place that you will remember later and be like, oh, I need to go over there, that I could perhaps get to that thing, and then you find out that actually no, the double jump alone doesn't let you get over there. You actually need the speed dash or whatever. That sort of a thing is kind of cool. I do feel like sometimes it's fun when you have something like I'm trying to think of a game that actually starts this from the beginning of the game, but in, Chrono Trigger, when you play a new game plus, you can technically go to the end of the game at any time. You can just decide to go beat Lavos whenever you want, and you can give it a shot. That's fun, where like the playing of the game, I guess, makes it easier, right? That like
We gonna bust
technically-
up some metal slimes while we're here?
Sure, why not?
Um,
You're not a metal
if you
slime.
were, I guess Chrono Trigger doesn't exactly let you like, oh, just on the sheer power of your capability to play the game, you could beat the end boss at any moment.
Yeah, you have to beat it once, right?
Well, not just that, but I'm saying that like turn-based battle does not exactly let you have such superior skill that you could, no hit the boss or whatever, right? Like in one, take no damage, and beat the boss. But there are games that do that kind of thing, and that's fun and neat. That like the playing of the game only makes it easier for you to beat the boss by leveling up and getting skills and weapons or whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's the Breath of the Wild model, right?
Right. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Which is
Okay, level up. We're grinding already.
GameCola, power by 6, reaction speed by 4. Ooh, maximum
Wow.
HP by 13. That's
because
pretty
GameCola
nice.
is usually the one that's dying.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So there's another thing here which I keep forgetting. I keep asking about it and I keep forgetting. We are saving up for some exorbitant equipment, right?
Yeah.
So maybe this is actually our goal. Let's get enough money to afford the next equipment in line.
Yeah, good point.
And then use that as our marker of, okay, let's try this dungeon again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like how this one's just a guy named
Hork.
Hork. You have
So-
defeated Hork.
Sorry, so I was going to say it's funny that he has a beard, but I also have a feeling that the beard is a sprite that is laid on top of the tiles.
I don't think that's meant
'Cause,
to be a beard. I think that's meant to be him, like, drooling out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Because it's a zombie.
Well, whatever it was, it seemed to flicker at a different rate than the regular flickering of the rest of the sprite, or the rest of the character.
I think that might just be due to the specific color, because certain colors have different fringing in composite video. But maybe, I don't know.
I guess we'll see. I'll pay attention when you beat up this sorcerer.
And I will say, if you are indeed going to do some grinding off camera, James, I would highly, highly, highly recommend
Oh,
reorganizing.
Firebane for Orfeo. Okay, so that is, or the enemy
They
just
used it on
did
you.
Firebane, so now I know that that is definitely a powerful attack.
Damaging spell.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Nathaniel?
I was saying, if you are indeed going to do some grinding off camera, I would absolutely recommend taking the time to reorder your inventory so that your free magic damage items are at the top of your list.
I don't know how I can do that, though.
Just keep giving, clear a little bit of space on someone else's inventory, and just keep giving items to other people until the only thing left is that item, and then give all the stuff back to the person it came from.
Gotcha. Yeah, good point. I wish I could fast forward, honestly, but I can't because this is an actual console.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. That like you get the save states, but you don't get the speed up like you do with an emulator.
Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, that hits all
What?
enemies in the
Ooh.
battlefield.
Wow.
I just thought I would try that. Oh, ho, 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 ho.
Wow.
Wow, okay, that could be... I didn't check how much MP it used, unfortunately, but that could be...
It used all your MP and you're at 2 health.
Dang. Yep, I guess the game designers just couldn't let that be a good ability.
Man, Nathaniel, did you ever play Paladin's Quest?
I did not.
Oh, it was one where, like, I want to say that there was still MP of some sort, but that spells also damaged you, the caster.
I've heard music from it because I edit for a living, and I like to have background music in while I'm working with no lyrics. And video game music is generally great for that. So I have some like best relaxing Super Nintendo music playlists that I listen to, and Paladin's Quest comes up on that every once in a while.
It's one that I should probably return to at some point. I just remember it being really weird. I remember my dad played it a whole lot. I remember the thing about spells damaging you when you cast them. And I remember my dad kept making a joke because whenever you would enter this one forest, like an NPC character would join your party, and he like looked like a monkey man of some sort. And so my dad, every single time that he would enter the forest, would say, he's a party animal.
That's pretty good. You know, I'm just thinking of now just frustrating RPG game design from early games. And now I'm thinking back to Megami Tensei 1, where, again, they were very inspired by Dungeons and Dragons, and they had an ability that I think certain enemies can do, but only in rare circumstances. But there were just some normal enemies you could fight later in the game that can level you down. as in decrease your character's level, and that's permanent.
Yeah.
So
Great.
like you just have to go and fight more enemies and level back up again, and that's just like, they clearly did not understand.
That feels like a crime.
It's
a video game crime.
It's atrocious. It's really
I'm
a
on
case of
board
where
with
I'm like,
that
the
if it
game
is-
designers here just did not understand why that worked in D&D, but cannot possibly work in a video game.
Yeah, I've definitely had some encounters with that. I used to DM, I used to play D&D, and that was always one of the most obnoxious things, just because of doing all of the math and redoing everything on your character sheet just to try and deal with this one spell. But if you can automate it, if you have a video game doing it, I don't mind it as a status ailment. And that would be a unique status ailment that I really don't see in video games. Like, I'm tired of poison, I'm tired of paralysis, you know, all of the standard ones. Like, give me interesting stuff like, oh, for the rest of the battle, you're half your level. Oh boy, you know.
Man, actually, one thing that I really liked in Final Fantasy XI is that they had special... I'm trying to remember what they were. There was like a special like quest you could go on that everyone was limited to a specific level. So like if your character was actually below that level, you would be below that level. But if you were above it, you would be limited to that. And so like you would keep your special like set of gear just to do this quest that like, oh, I have all of my best gear that I could equip at level 15, and I'm gonna like you know, do all of these like specific things to make it my like the best possible level 15 thief that I could be, so that I can go and do this quest. And you just keep all of that stuff in your monk house until you came and did the quest again. It's a fun challenge, right? That like instead of just being like, oh, I'm gonna level up as much as possible and I'm gonna completely just like mow over this boss, it's like, well, no, you have to be the best that you could within these given limitations. So that's fun, but it's a completely different thing than just like, you're permanently leveled down, I'm sorry.
That reminds
Well,
me
I'm
of...
sorry.
Oh boy. So I just realized another thing that we could be doing right here.
What's that?
The curse of using a walkthrough but not using a walkthrough, like you referring to maps and item lists and stuff, but not actually properly following a walkthrough. We talked to the dude about the water flying cloth, but we haven't done the work to get the stuff for the water flying cloth.
Yeah.
That's true. I also wanted to mention
fixed or something.
I was going to mention, sorry, if there's more to be said about that topic that's like important to know, by all means.
Yeah. When you're ready for a break, we've got a destination change.
Yeah. But what I was going to say on the topic of like games leveling you down for a specific area or fight, in Guild Wars 2, which is a game I used to pour a lot of time into, it's an online MMORPG. I guess online MMO is redundant, but it's an MMORPG, and what that game would do is that each region of the map would have a recommended or suggested level, and it also had a level cap. So, like the beginning areas, if you were higher than the level cap, so like the beginning areas of the game would say, hey, you should be between level, 1 through 5 for this area. And so they would cap you at level 5, regardless of what your level is. So all of your stats would be brought down to what they would be at level 5, But again, you get to keep all your equipment and all of their buffs and bonuses and your higher level abilities. It's just your stats and character has been scaled down to this lower level. And they would do that for all areas
James.
of the game.
Get in the boat.
Get in the boat? Okay.
Get in the boat.
Get in the
We're-
boat, James.
Oh, Joe, you're still here.
Well, I haven't played any video games where they level you down, so I'm feeling I don't
All
have
right.
anything to contribute.
Where to?
All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get out of this little water area and back into the big old ocean.
All right. Is that something we should do in the next episode, though?
Oh, yes, definitely.
All right. Well,
James,
exciting
get
times
into
up
the next
ahead.
episode.
All
Get
right.
in the next episode, James.
Bye. Ah.